Hey, Chip.
Yeah.
You were closing in really quick on being the only chairman that has chaired this city council for an entire year without ever holding a meeting.
It looks like I will achieve that in the end.
It's only got to extend a couple more months and you'll be there.
Man, that's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, who's going to take us live? Ken, will that be you?
Yeah, I can. Ready to go?
No, I don't think we are yet. We got about one more minute.
Okay.
Anybody watch the game last night?
All night long.
All night long.
Oh, yeah, well, bits and pieces of it.
All right, Mr. Vice Chair, it is 6 o'clock.
We are live.
All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Tuesday, January the 12th City Council meeting. I now call this meeting to order. Our Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation tonight will be from Councilman Anthony Byrd.
Thank you. Can we have a flag, please?
I'm working on it. Sorry, my screen's a little jumbled up. 1 second.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much. Okay, everyone, you ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States
of
of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, will we please bow our heads? Dear Heavenly Father, thank you once again for bringing us together on this beautiful, beautiful day that you made. With the world going through the things that we are seeing on television, seeing in our homes, and just seeing abroad upon the street, we are very scared and nervous about what tomorrow will look like. But we do understand that your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And we trust that will. And we thank you for everything that you have bestowed upon us and the love that you have spread through the world and through our families. And that gives us hope that tomorrow will be a better day. And I thank you, I love you, and I appreciate all the things that you have brought into our lives. In your son's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Man, all
Thank
right,
you,
Pastor Bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Councilman.
Need a little love in this world, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, we have no special presentations this afternoon. Could I get a motion on the minutes, please?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve the minutes as recorded with a proper second. Questions or concerns before we vote? If not, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Oglesby,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
motion carries. We now move into your order of business for your city council. Ordinances, final reading this afternoon. We do have a couple. Economic and Community Development. Item 5A, please, ma'am.
An ordinance amending Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 21, Division 4, Sections 21-136 and 21-137, related to overgrowth and abatement.
Councilman Ledford, followed by Councilwoman Burrs.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Once again, I appreciate the council support and I would like to move for final approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilman Oglesby,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
Motion carries 9-0. The next item, please, ma'am, 5B.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone two properties located in the 100 block of Bush Street from R1 residential zone to ERA2 urban edge residential attached 2 stories, subject to certain conditions.
Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This being in your district and with no objection, I'd like to move to approve.
Second.
Thank you, sir. We have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Oglesby,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
so moved. We now move into our planning items, ordinances on first reading. We have several this afternoon. Madam Clerk, would you read 6A, please?
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to lift conditions from ordinance number 13337 of previous case number 2018-106 from the property located at 612 Snow Street, more particularly described herein.
Would the applicant for this item please raise their hand at this time? Very well. Is there any opposition that would like to voice at this time? Would you please raise your hand? Any opposition? All right, council, I am seeing no opposition to this item. Councilman Ledford?
Chairman, I'd like to defer to Vice Chairman Smith.
Vice Chair?
Yes, sir. I thought I was looking, I'm sorry, I was looking for a name, sir, of some people that had signed up at the same time. I was going through this particular item. All right, sir. I see no opposition. I do see the applicant is here. Mr. Chairman, this is in your district. So if you have no,
This one's in yours, Vice Chairman, I think.
no, Nicholas Hughes, right?
Yes, this is District 1. That's
Oh, my
correct.
bad.
Yeah, this is District 1. Mr. Chairman, if you have, if you're okay with it, I'd like to move approval.
Thank you, sir.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Madam Clerk, please.
Councilman Oglesby,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
motion carries 9-0. Madam Clerk, if you would, please read item 6B, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located in the 6700 block of Hickson Pike from R1 residential zone to C2 convenience commercial zone.
Is the applicant present this afternoon? Would you please raise your hand? Is there any attendees in opposition to this request? Would you please raise your hand at this time? Mr. Vice Chair?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have had no opposition raised on this case, so I would like to move approval.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Oglesby,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
so moved. All right, Madam Clerk, if you would, please, 6C.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone properties located in the 7,000 block of Shallowford Road and 2301 Rivendell Lane for R1 residential zone and RTZ residential townhouse zero lot line zone to RTZ residential townhouse zero lot line zone for the entire site.
All right, would the applicant please raise your hand at this time? All right, I'm seeing no hand. Is there any one in attendance this afternoon in opposition? Would you please raise your hand at this time? Councilman Ledford, I am seeing a couple of hands in opposition, sir. Would you like to have a presentation?
Actually, sir, I'd like to make the deferral again, as we're still working through some complicated issues on several fronts. I'd mentioned that in agenda session. I'd like to move this to our March 8th Planning and Zoning Committee.
Okay, very well. Is that in the form of a motion, sir?
That is in the form of a motion, sir.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to defer until March the 8th with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilman Oglesby,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Byrd,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
motion carries to defer until March the 8th.
Thank
Madam
you.
Clerk, 6D, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone properties located at 4150, 4200, and 4216 Randolph Circle from R1 residential zone and R2 residential zone to R3 residential zone.
Is the applicant for this request present this afternoon? Would you please raise your hand? Is there anyone in attendance in opposition to this request? Would you raise your hand? Councilman Gilbert, I'm not seeing opposition nor the applicant. Sir, you have the floor.
I'd like to defer this to the 19th.
Second.
Very well. We have a motion on the floor to defer until March the 19th. Is that correct, sir?
January.
January.
January the 19th. My bad. Deferral till January the 19th. And we had a second on that motion as well. Questions or comments before we vote? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Oglesby,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
motion to defer carries 9-0. 6E, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 6626 Shallowford Road from R1 residential zone to O1 office zone subject to certain conditions.
Madam, or Councilwoman Byrd, before I ask for the applicant, are you planning on deferring this one?
Yes.
Would you like the floor?
Yes, I would. I move to defer till January 19th.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to defer until January the 19th with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All right, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilman Oglesby,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Byrd,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
motion to defer till January the 19th carries. Madam Clerk, if you would, please now read 6F, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 1639 Roswell Avenue from UIN3 Urban Industrial 3-story zone to UCX3 Urban Commercial Mixed Use 3-story zone.
Is the applicant in attendance this afternoon for this request? Would you please raise your hand? Very good. Is there any in attendance in opposition to this request this afternoon? Would you please raise your hand? All right, Councilman Oglesby, I'm seeing the applicant, but at this time, no opposition. Sir, you have the floor.
Well, the applicant, I'm good with this project unless it's something he got to say. I want to move to approve.
I don't think he wants to talk himself out of that, sir. We have a motion. We have a motion to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Oglesby,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
so moved. 6G, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 505 Riverfront Parkway from RM1 manufacturing zone to C3 central business zone subject to certain conditions.
Is the applicant for this request in attendance this afternoon? Would you raise your hand? Very well. Is there any opposition to this request tonight? Would you please raise your hand? All right, Councilman Oglesby, I'm seeing the applicant, but no opposition, sir.
Okay, I just got to talk to John for a second. There's 3 versions here. I want to make sure we get the correct one
Sure.
into record. So I just need for John to give me what was the final recommendation.
Okay, Vice Chair Smith, would you bring Mr. Bridger in, please?
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Bridger. I thought was going to make it through this planning agenda without you.
I'm sorry y'all stuck with me for just a few minutes.
Councilman Oglesby.
Just a quick synopsis. The one is the planning commission version is the one, and there's a tweak to that condition relating to dumpsters. It says that all dumpsters, mechanical equipment shall be screened from all public rights of way. And I think the prior staff version had to be in the rear. The applicant had requested that modification, which planning commission agreed to. So that's that's the change. So you'll be adopting the planning commission version, which is the first item on that list of your agenda items.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bridge. I just wanted to confirm that because we had talked some about that in committee last week. So with no opposition and with no objections from the applicant, I move to approve.
Second.
Very well. We have a motion to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All right, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Oglesby,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Byrd,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
motion carries 9-0 to approve. John, you might as well hang around for this last planning item. Madam Clerk, 6H, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 3104 North Hickory Street from M1 manufacturing zone to O1 office zone.
All right, is the applicant in attendance this afternoon for this request? Would you please raise your hand? Very good. Is there anyone in attendance this afternoon in opposition? Would you please raise your hand at this time? Okay, Councilman Byrd, where'd you go? There you go.
Here I am, sir.
All right, Councilman Byrd, your applicant is here. I see no one in opposition this afternoon.
Yes, sir. And I talked to the people over in Riverside Drive, and I haven't had any objection. Yes, I'm sorry to this request. So with that, I move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? If not, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Oglesby,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
So moved. Mr. Bridger, thank you, sir. Mr. Vice Chair, you can excuse our guest.
Do. He's excused.
All right, we now move into our resolutions under Economic and Community Development. Madam Clerk, would you please read 7A through 7E if there are no objections from the council? Hold on, Councilman Gilbert.
No, I was going to approve when you get through reading it.
All right, thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, A through E, please.
Yes. Item A resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a first agreement to exercise option to renew with Cromwell Development One LLC in substantially the form attached for an additional term of 1 year for the use of the gymnasium at Cromwell Hills Apartments to operate programs for youth, young adults, and families on the property located at 3940 Camellia Drive. Item B, a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute a multi-year license agreement in substantially the form attached with 50 Plus Racing Foundation, Inc. for the Chattanooga Motor Car Festival beginning October 1, 2021, with the option to renew each year for up to 2 additional 1-year terms ending October 31st, 2023. Item C, a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a nonprofit lease standard form agreement with East Lake Neighborhood Association, Inc. in substantially the form attached for the occupancy and operation of a concession stand for the benefit of the community with an address of 3000 East 34th Street on a portion of tax parcel number 168BU018 for a term of 4 years and $1 per year. Item D, a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a nonprofit lease standard form agreement with East Lake Neighborhood Association, Inc. in substantially the form attached for the occupancy of the community building on a portion of tax parcel number 168BU018 with an address of 3000 East 34th Street, and to authorize the waiver of the East Lake Park at the Lake event fees in the amount of $227.50 per event for a total amount $910 for the 4 annual events held by the East Lake Neighborhood Association for the benefit of the East Lake community for a term of 4 years at $1 per year. And item E, a resolution authorizing the mayor and his designee to enter into a first agreement to exercise option to renew with the Chattanooga Housing Authority in substantially the form attached for an additional term of 1 year for the use of the Sheila Jennings Wellness Center to operate programs for youth, young adults, and families on the property located at 1201 Poplar Street.
Councilman Gilbert, followed by Councilman Oglesby.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve items A through E with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Oglesby,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
motion to approve items A through E carries 9-0. Now, with no objections from the council, Madam Clerk, would you read F, G, and H together as a package, please?
Yes. Item F, a resolution to amend resolution number 30567 so as to make payment to governmentjobs.com, DBA NeoGov, for a service and licensing agreement to provide human resources software services for onboard and performance management services, as well as the current recruitment and applicant tracking services for a renewal term of 12 months with a corrected amount of $74,392.65. Item G, a resolution authorizing the appointment of Kyle Dickerson as a special police officer unarmed for the Land Development Office of the Department of Economic and Community Development to do special duty as prescribed herein, subject to certain conditions. Item H, a resolution authorizing the Office of the City Attorney to increase funds for blanket contract 536370 with Arthur J. Gallagher Risk Management Services, Inc. for 2021 personal and property insurance coverage, total insured value of $600,706,369 for an amount not to exceed 661. And my document, 61 million, is that correct?
No, ma'am, it's 600 million, but $661,656.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Councilman Gilbert.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve items F, G, and H with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Mr. Councilman Gilbert, is that old hand, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very well. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilman Oglesby,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Byrd,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
9 yeses.
Motion to approve items F, G, and H carries 9-0. Now, Madam Clerk, if you would please read 7I.
Resolution approving a special exceptions permit for an existing liquor store change in ownership located at 911 Dotson Avenue.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Oglesby,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Abstain.
I didn't hear your vote.
Abstain.
Yes. That is 8 yeses.
Motion carries with 8 yeses. All right, Madam Clerk, we now move to items in Public Works and Transportation with no objection from the council. Would you please read item 7J through 7N, please? J through N.
Item J, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number R20017210 Summit of Softball Complex Improvements from the Easter Tornado 2020 Shade Structures Replacement to Lanier Plans Inc., DBA Corcat of Carlton, Georgia, in the amount of $48,887.92 with a contingency amount of $4,900 for an amount not to exceed $53,787.92. Item K, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number R20017208 Summit of Softball Complex Improvements from the Easter Tornado 2020 fencing replacement to Factory to You Fence of Knox Inc. of Knoxville, Tennessee, in the amount of $112,900 with a contingency amount of $12,000 for an amount not to exceed $124,900. Item L, a resolution authorizing the renewal of contract number E18007-101 on-call blanket contracts for the Architectural Services Resolution 29703 with 1, Allen and Hostel Inc., 2, Architect Design Group Inc., 3, Dirthick, Henley and Wilkerson Architects PLLC, 4, Franklin Architects, 5, Raridan and Carroll Architects Inc., and 6, MBI Companies Inc., formerly TWH Architects Inc., for year 3 of a 4-year term with these 6 professional firms estimated at $1,500,000 total annually for use by all departments. Item M, a resolution authorizing the renewal of contract number E18008-101 on-call blanket contracts for structural engineering services, resolution 29704, with 1, Allen and Hostel Inc., 2, Albert Venetian Company, 3, CTI Engineers Inc., 4, Estes Russell Engineer Inc., 5, Integrated Structural Services Inc., 6, March Adams and Associates Inc., and 7, Volker Inc. for year 3 of a 4-year term with these 7 professional firms estimated at $300,000 total annually for use by all departments. And item N, a resolution authorizing renewal of contract number E18009-101 on-call blanket contracts for mechanical, electrical, and plumbing engineering services, resolution 29702, with 1, Campbell and Associates Inc., and 2, March Adams and Associates Inc. for year 3 of a 4-year term with these 2 professional firms estimated at $300,000 total annually for use by all departments.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilman Ledford, followed by Councilman Gilbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to extend my gratitude once again for the hard work that the Public Works Department is doing, helping to restore and rebuild from the Easter tornado. This is part of a multi-tiered contract, I know, to help the Summit complex. And I know there are more coming, and this council continues to work hard. The city continues to work hard to help us recover from the tornado, and I greatly appreciate it. Before I make a motion, I'd like to defer to our Public Works Chairman if he'd like to make the motion.
Thank you, but I'll yield back.
All right, I'd like to move to approve then.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second for items 7J through N. Questions or comments before we vote? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilman Oglesby,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Byrd,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
motion to approve items J through N approves. Motion carries 9-0. All right, council, if you would at this time pull up your purchases for this afternoon while Mr. Vice Chair brings in Tony Salmons, please. Good evening, Mr. Salmons.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and members of council. We have a few purchases this evening for your approval and one emergency purchase to bring to your attention. First, starting with the Department of Economic and Community Development, we have a request to increase grant funding of a purchase approved by council previously. It was on non-congregate winter shelter Part A for $143,000. The request is to increase this item to $300,000. The first part of that, Part A, already awarded to JDH developers. And the second part is for Part B for security services. Security services are being awarded to Security Engineers Incorporated. The total combined parts, Part A for hotel and Part B for security, for a total amount of $300,000. The next three items are from our Fleet Division of Public Works. The first item, and all three of these items are requests to extend the existing blanket until new contracts have been secured. The first item is for service repairs for medium and heavy duty vehicles being awarded to Chattanooga Truck Center for $30,000. The next item, also for service repairs for medium and heavy duty vehicles, to Lee Smith Incorporated for $120,000. And the last item for automotive parts and accessories to Lee Smith Incorporated for $2,600,000. And that concludes the purchases for this evening.
Thank you, sir. What is the pleasure of the council?
Move approval.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve tonight's purchases with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Oglesby,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith.
Yes.
I don't see him. Okay. Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
that is 8 yeses.
so moved.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of council. We have one emergency purchase item under the mayor's emergency declaration. It is also from Public Works in the Fleet Division for truck service repairs. The supplier is Tennessee Kenworth. Purchase order number is 560062 for $150,000 for emergency service repairs and outside parts on all medium and heavy duty trucks. This will allow our Fleet Division to manage the staffing shortage that has been caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. And that concludes the emergency purchases.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Mr. Vice Chair, you can excuse our guest. We now move into other business. We do have 3 items listed there this afternoon. Mr. Attorney,
Yes,
would you
sir.
like to take the first one, sir?
Yes, sir. You have approved a special exceptions permit for this location tonight in your resolutions. This is a certificate of background investigation for BFMZ LLC DBA Neighborhood Liquors at 911 Dodson Avenue. We have provided a copy of this sheet to Nicole so that she would have it available. And we need to have signatures of at least 5 members of the council per your ordinance. This document certifies that this applicant complies with all the requirements of the city code.
Madam Clerk, would you make sure and email each council person for their approval for the
Yes.
signature? Thank
I
you.
will.
Next, under other business is board appointments. Vice Chair Smith.
Sir, thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to reappoint Derek Markey to the Board of Sign Appeals. And I would also like to reappoint Joe Manuel to the Board of Zoning Appeals, sir.
All right, sir. Is that it?
That is it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Oglesby.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to reappoint Dr. Juanita Lodman Clay, affectionately known as Dr. J, to the Youth and Family Development Board.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Is that it?
That's it, sir.
Thank you. Councilwoman Burrs.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to reappoint Barry Snyder to the Board of Sign Appeals and Alan Richardson to the Board of Zoning Appeals. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Councilwoman Coonrod.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to reappoint Jackie Thomas to the Zoning Appeal Board. And I also like to appoint or nominate Kanika Wellington Jones to the Park Board.
Okay, that is in the form of a motion. Is that
Yes, sir.
correct?
Second.
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilman Oglesby,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
motion carries 9-0. Thank you, Councilwoman.
Mhm.
All right, Mr. Attorney, it looks like we have a donation this afternoon that we need to be made aware of.
Yes, sir. The police department has informed me that they have received a donation from Dr. Jeffrey Visser and D.A. Visser here of $10,000. And I told them that at least they needed to present that to this body to at least so that you could congratulate them for providing that to the police.
Thank you, sir. We truly appreciate the Vissers stepping up and making this donation. That's very generous to the police department.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Attorney.
Yes, sir.
All right, that concludes other business this afternoon. We now move to committee reports. I will take them as I see them on my screen. Councilwoman Burrs.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Budget and Finance did meet today. We received a review of the public meeting report from administration relative to budget. And we also scheduled a special strategic planning meeting on January 26th from 1 to 3:30 to get council input on the budget process. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Councilman Ledford.
No report, Chairman.
Councilman Oglesby.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Today, we had an Economic and Community Development Committee meeting, which really was great with the Vincino Group and the Ames Center about the residential project located in District 8. And I want to thank Councilman Byrd for his leadership and all he put into to make this project happen. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Councilman Gilbert.
No report.
Councilman Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We did have a Public Works and Transportation Committee meeting, and we will have another one in 2 weeks. And part of that meeting will be a report from Public Works on the consent decree. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Vice Chair Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Next week, January 19th, immediately following the agenda session, we will have a legislative committee to discuss the panhandling ordinance.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Coonrod.
Thank you, Chair. YFD will have a committee meeting on January the 26th. And also, we're still in the business of helping people get their rent paid and utilities. So if you need help, please call 423-643-6434. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilman Byrd.
Thank you, Chair. Public Safety will have a meeting also on January the 6th, where we will get our quarterly report from Park. Look forward to that meeting. Thank you so much.
Check that
Thank
date.
you. I'm sorry,
Check that date.
you said January 26th?
Yes,
Oh, thank you.
thank you.
All right, that now brings us to persons wishing to address the council. So if you are in attendance tonight and you have registered to speak, would you please raise your hand at this time? Mr. Vice Chair, would you please confirm the 2 hands that we have raised that they are registered to speak this afternoon?
Mr. Corley has not registered to speak, sir, but it looks like Swellington Jones has.
Okay, very well. Would you bring in Ms. or
Nope, she disappeared.
you disappeared on us?
Would you still like her to?
Well,
There she is.
she's back.
There she is.
Hello,
Good evening.
good evening.
Hold on 1 second. I forgot one bit of process that we need to go through. I'd like to ask our attorney to read our rules for engagement. And while he's doing that, the vice chair will put the clock up on the screen, please.
Ms. Wellington Jones, you are just recently, I think, have been appointed here tonight, but thank you and congratulations to that. But at the end of each council business meeting here, since we're on Zoom like this, each speaker wishing to address the council is supposed to be recognized by providing their name, address, and council district. You don't get more than 3 minutes to speak, and you can address the council only upon matters within their legislative and quasi-judicial authority, and not upon matters that are under other governmental bodies or agencies' authority. And don't use any vulgar, obscene language, nor use the floor to personally attack or personally denigrate others, and address the council as a whole while you're talking. But thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Vice Chair, would you put the 3-minute clock up, please? And as soon as he does that, Ms. Jones, give us your district and you may begin as soon as the clock appears. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, District 9, again, Kanika Wellington Jones, 2407 East 5th Street. I just wanted to come on and just say thank you to the council and a special thank you to Councilwoman Coonrod for this opportunity. I cannot wait to join the team and to use my expertise to add value to the Police Advisory Board. So again, thank you, and I'm excited.
Thank you for volunteering, and we certainly appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, is that it? All right, I am seeing no other hands at this time. Councilman Gilbert, you had a hand up, sir.
Yeah, I was going, I think we said earlier before you came that we're going to have this further study in Vice Chairman Committee next week.
Mr. Vice Chair?
Yes, earlier today we did, hang on, let me remove this since we have no more speakers. Okay, there we go. Yes, Councilman, we did discuss a piece of legislation that Councilman Gilbert and Councilwoman Coonrod want to consider for the based on the disparity study. And I told them or instructed them I'm more than happy to have that in legislative committee next week. I forgot that was not on my list, so thank you, sir, for bringing that up.
Okay, very well. Thank you, sir. Okay, council, I am not seeing any other hands. What is the pleasure of the council at this time?
Move with adjourn.
So moved. We are adjourned. See you.